This has got to be the worst roster in football.
Oh, it is. They have to make a move. They have to pick someone up.
They
You
made a
gotta
big
wait.
move.
Big time move. Big time
move.
players.
They traded for a former first-round pick. He's still in his rookie deal right now. This is a huge move for Chicago. They gave up hardly anything. Gave up a seventh-round pick
Yep.
for this monster. He's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the league. The man, the myth, the legend N'Keal Harry headed to Chicago.
N'Keal. The move does signal something to me. One of the better blocking receivers in the NFL. Something you don't hear people brag about too often. Also, one of the better blocking receivers in the NFL is Byron Pringle. And Darnell Mooney's puts his whole heart into blocking. The little guy tries so hard.
I said he was a good try.
They're going to run the ball a lot, is what I'm seeing. They want to be sealing that edge for the outside zone run scheme they're going to be implementing here. An interesting thing to me with it, though, is for fantasy purposes, is I don't know how great of a scheme fit David Montgomery is for an outside zone scheme, like a Shanahan, Kubiak type outside zone. Just because he doesn't have that sheer quickness to the edge and then just like one hit speed to cut and go. But Khalil Herbert does. I think Khalil Herbert's going to be stealing some carries from Montgomery this year. When I'm looking at this offense, I have two massive questions. Who's going to catch the ball outside Darnell Mooney? And who's going to keep Justin Fields upright? And I do not have a lot of answers. I mean, really, you got Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair at center and left guard. I feel fine about those two. It's the other three that are complete unknowns. Left tackle, right tackle, right guard.
He's not even starting.
I mean, so I have Jenkins listed here at right guard, but the last week of training camp, he was with the twos. Jenkins wasn't even starting. They were starting Sam Mustipher at right guard in camp. There's no way Mustipher's going to be your starting right guard this year, I don't think. If there is, I have serious questions as to what is wrong with Tevin Jenkins. They got Larry Borum Slade at right guard, who he showed some flashes last year as a rookie. Very solid for a fifth-round pick, but solid in general. Braxton Jones is another fifth-round pick from 2022, who is now slated to start at left tackle. Kid's an absolute freak.
They do have future Hall of Famer Zach Thomas on their team.
Oh, yeah. Zach Thomas is actually one of my favorite draft picks of theirs. So, not to be confused with Texas Tech legend Zach Thomas.
Future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that name. We're talking all the X's and O's here. Tell us what the people want to hear. What is Justin Fields? Is he good? Is he not good?
Yeah.
What are they doing with him? It doesn't look like they're giving him any help. They gave him
No.
They signed a bunch of receivers that don't catch the ball particularly well. Velus Jones, maybe. Darnell Mooney can catch the deep ball, but I mean, you got a second year.
So hold up. I will not stand for the Darnell Mooney slander. Darnell Mooney can do just about everything except for contested catches. He's a very good receiver.
Okay,
he's not like a top 10, top 15, but he's a top like 30.
He's a top 30 receiver. You have a second year quarterback that you invested a lot of capital to go get, and your best receiver on the team might be top 30.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir on that. I just didn't want to. I just needed to point out that Darnell Mooney's not just a guy.
I like Darnell Mooney. I would love for him to be the third receiver on the Dallas team.
Yeah. I mean, I think Fields is a star, but like,
I love Fields.
I hope he doesn't get killed this year. My biggest fear this year is that Fields gets hurt week 2, week 3, done for the year. We have Trevor Siemian trotting out with this team to go 0-17, 1-16. Bears get the number 1 pick, and they have to decide, do they want CJ Stroud or do they want to stick with Justin Fields? Or so maybe not necessarily Stroud, but any of the quarterbacks.
They could very well be the number 1 overall pick with Justin Fields healthy.
See, I think he'll keep them 5-6 wins.
I just don't know what the Bears are going to do if he plays. What is playing well for Justin Fields with this roster?
missing no games, about 3,300 yards, like 24 plus touchdowns, under like
touchdowns.
passing touchdowns, I'd say. This is if he doesn't miss any games. I mean, 24, that's about average for a guy who doesn't miss any games in 17 game
this
season.
Wide receiver core? I mean, can Patrick Mahomes throw 24 touchdowns with this wide receiver core?
Pat Mahomes can do that.
I mean, he had 24 touchdowns with Darnell Mooney in week 1, but.
So, and then probably about 12 picks, I'd say is realistic, maybe up to 15 for a good year for him. Just because they're gonna be playing from behind at times. He's gonna have to take shots. Oh no, not 3. You're undershooting that. Like 600 rushing yards, maybe 7.
Just talking about. I just don't know what they expect this young man to do.
He had almost 300 rushing yards last year in like 10 games.
This has got to be the worst roster in football.
Oh, it is. Like if Fields is not here, this team is number 1 pick written all over it. Fields is the only thing that can stop that. Honestly, the defense outside of the D-line is not good. Like, especially Robert Quinn wants to trade. Quinn might not be there. Right. But, so the secondary all around is pretty dang good. Like,
Jalen Johnson, solid.
Jackson, Jalen Johnson. They used the number 39 pick on Kyler Gordon. They used the number 48 on Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State. And Thomas Graham looked really good last year, and they got some depth at that nickel corner behind him in case he doesn't. Like, the D-line is bad. I'm not going to argue with anyone that the Bears D-line is even average. But the secondary and the linebackers are more than good, solid. They're definitely good. So Khalil Mack gone, Allen Robinson gone, James Daniels gone, Akeem Hicks gone, Bilal Nichols gone. That's 5 of their, 15 best players. This is an overhauled roster. It looks like a tank job, if I'm being completely honest, except for the Justin Fields part. That's the only thing that might keep them from being a complete tank.
We're more than happy to dive in deeper. You just got to leave us a comment below, like and subscribe. Let us know what you want to hear. And don't forget, don't sleep on the Lions.
Don't do it.